Welcome back to the Nuggets of Gold podcast and YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be talking and reacting to the 49ers' fourth consecutive loss, this time against the Colts. Now, before I get into the 49ers stuff, I would like to say Colts played a really good game. Darius Leonard, Defoe, they got a couple great players on defense. Carson Wentz actually looked pretty good, and Jonathan Taylor had a fantastic game as well. So, got to give them props. I think they're going to end up, improving a lot throughout the season, and they're definitely going to be in the playoff mix in the AFC. With all that, even with their slow start. But with all that said, going to talk about the 49ers a little bit. I'm going to talk about the offense first, then talk about the defense. Offensively, this team has been really, really bad in comparison to what I thought they were going to be. Tonight, you see them, they're running the ball effectively. Elijah Mitchell averages 5.9 a carry. He had over 100 yards, had a touchdown. The majority, I don't know about the majority, but a lot of that came in that first drive. I think he had over 50 yards in that first drive. Then it feels like they kind of get away from it. And there were like two drives, the two touchdown drives, where they just moved the ball down the field really effortlessly. And besides that, it looked really sluggish. It looked bad. It didn't look good. It looked kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say predictable, but it was just vanilla. There's nothing really to it. Now, there were a lot of drops and stuff because of the rain. It was definitely a really tough game in terms of the weather, but I feel like they should have ran the ball more still. And this whole year, it's been a struggle for their offense. Tonight wasn't really that much different. I got to see some promising stuff from Elijah Mitchell. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't great. I don't think he was like terrible or anything, but what was his final stat line? 16 of 27, 181 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Not ideal. The last pick was just kind of end of the game, throw it up, but the other one to Debo was huge. That was just not a really well thrown ball. A lot of balls that weren't that great. But like I said, I don't think it was like on him. I just thought the offense didn't look that great. Defensively, the 49ers I thought looked really, really bad. Outside of Aziz looked really good, but their secondary is not good. Their secondary keeps getting put into situations where it's one-on-one, like up with a guy like Michael Pittman for Drake Kirkpatrick. Like, I don't really get that call. Like, you got to get some help for these guys over the top. It's not working. And there's been times where there has been help, but a lot of times it feels like on third down, especially early on in this game and in the prior games, it seemed like there was some adjustments today, but it feels like a lot of the time it's man coverage with a little to no safety help, and guys have just got picked apart. And even when they're not in man on third down, like, it just always seems like, okay, like, why is Drake Kirkpatrick? And he just came into the game like he's completely lost. And he comes over late, and then Pittman losses him for the game-winning touchdown. Like, that's how this whole year has been in terms of the defense. They've been amazing on first and second down, and anytime it comes to third down, it's not like the pressure's not even getting home. It's getting there, but they're just running fades on the 49ers. That's all any team has ran, and they are absolutely killing them on that. So one thing I would be very critical of is that Diamador Lenore was inactive for this game, and I would much rather see him come onto the field than Drake Kirkpatrick in that situation. And then you see what happened in this spot. I just don't get why they're not playing him. He looked really good early on in this year. And it's frustrating. Like, I think that he's one of the top 3 corners on this team. I would rather them, and Norman's looked a lot better. But even if he's not, like, he should be the first guy off the bench, even if he's behind these 3 that are starting. But Emmanuel Mosley didn't look great tonight. None of the secondary did. And the team as a whole looked just really chaotic and kind of all over the place. Tons of penalties again. So it's pretty frustrating. I do want to say, I think there is a fair amount of blame that should go to Kyle. Like, he's leading this thing. But I also will say that this is a relatively new coaching staff. Like, you're missing a defensive coordinator. You're missing one of your biggest pieces in Mike LaFleur in the offense, or Matt LaFleur, I'm sorry, in the offense. And D'Amico's a first-time play caller on the defensive side. Like, you could still see that there's some growing pains there. I do have a lot of faith in D'Amico. You look at the guys that he's developed at the linebacker position, amazing linebacker coach. I think he looks really good at sometimes, but there's just a little bit too much faith put into the secondary to man up on these guys. They're not going to win these battles. And I think you need to see an adjustment. I was really hoping that you'd see that tonight, especially against a team that has a guy like Michael Pittman, who, like, you just don't put him in one-on-one situations. That's how he's going to win. That's how the Colts are going to win. That's what they want to do. They want to run the ball. They want to put Michael Pittman into one-on-one situations, and that's what they did. And they did it, like, without much of, like, from the 49ers to give up 30 points in this rain game, that's not very good. Like, you got to be better than that. And this defensive personnel should be better. So that's where I'm at with this team. I'm pretty frustrated. I think anyone that's watching the 49ers is. But also realize like the Colts are a good team. They are a good team. I don't think this 49ers season is over. However, like they have to improve a lot, and their offense especially has to improve because it's kind of flat. The defense, you need to see some adjustments made on these third down calls because you don't have the personnel to run man on man with some of these guys or run like one-on-one spot like situations. We've seen that on quite a few third down this year where like you just got to change it, and it's just like it might be harder to call defenses like that when you don't have the ability to go into a lot of man spots, but that's what you're working with this personnel. So I think you got to change that up and kind of adjust to who you have on the field because I don't think these guys are getting it done, and I don't think it's working right now. But we'll see what they do. I do have a lot of faith in D'Amico moving forward. He's a rookie play caller. That's tough. That's really tough. So we'll see how he looks. We'll see if these guys keep improving. But I think next week against the Bears, the 49ers have to get that done. If they don't, they're in serious trouble. I mean, they're already in huge trouble. So it's going to be tough, but we'll see how they look. With all that said, though, I'm going to take off. But thank you all for listening. And I'll be back tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, I'll probably be back with Aiden. So I'll be talking more football throughout this week. Hopefully the 49ers kind of start turning around. There's definitely a lot of bright spots on this team, but it's very, very frustrating right now. So I'll talk to you guys very soon.